Hello and welcome to Take 5 with Automation World. I'm David Miller, Senior Technical Writer for Automation World. Today, I'm going to be talking about how public-private partnerships that mutually benefit all parties involved can help to improve the availability of vocational and technical training for careers in manufacturing. Now, the first thing to note here is something you've probably heard a dozen times before, but we'll say it briefly one more time. There is currently a tremendous skills gap in manufacturing, with Deloitte projecting 2.4 million positions will go unfilled in the next decade. But what can actually be done through the U.S. educational system that will help to remedy this? Well, many feel that it begins with bolstering technical and vocational training opportunities. And this refers to programs that take 2 years or less and allow workers to get certifications of various sorts that allow them to perform middle-skilled trade jobs such as welding or CNC machine operation and so on. And if you talk to people, they'll tell you that there are not enough programs of this sort within the U.S., which is perhaps overemphasized four-year university education instead. Now, this has to change at some point in time because basically everyone wants more manufacturing in the U.S. and everyone has something to gain from it. Local and state governments want to drive business to their regions to drive economic growth. And manufacturing is what we call a demand multiplier. What that means is that because it's so capital intensive and because the wages and salaries paid out are usually pretty high compared to other industries and other professions, that every manufacturing job created supports a slew of others. So this also expands the tax base, which is something that governments are strongly incentivized to do. Now, from the worker's perspective, the benefit is also clear. It's a high-paying job that's interesting and fulfilling, with a lot of opportunities for mobility and advancement, particularly as the technology evolves. And at the same time, it often doesn't require them to take out all the debt that a four-year university education would. So the manufacturers themselves want well-trained, talented, and dedicated workers too, of course. And the local colleges who provide the training, they want to be able to bolster their credibility by showing they placed workers in professions. Otherwise, people, frankly, might not want to attend their institution. One of the strengths of these arrangements is actually that they vary from region to region based on particular needs and circumstances. But in general, here's how they work. An educational institution, such as a community college that's seeking to create a program, will receive some form of grant funding from a local or state government to start it up, help it build facilities, hire the proper faculty and whatnot. And the government will usually happily do this, of course, because it's expecting a return on investment in the form of drawing companies to the region, nurturing economic growth, and of course generating tax revenue. On the other side of that, companies who want workers, because they also have a need, will donate equipment for students at the college to train on. This is also vital because these companies want workers who know how to use their specific equipment, which may feature proprietary or otherwise vendor-specific functionality of some sort. So you have the local government making a wise investment, nurturing talent, bringing business to the region, so on and so forth. You have the college attaining resources it otherwise, frankly, wouldn't have access to. And you have the company ensuring that the workforce that the college produces knows how to use its particular equipment as soon as they come in the door. And of course, most importantly, the workers are winning too, and that they have an opportunity, again, to begin a career without taking off the often colossal debt that four-year university education requires. So I actually spoke to someone recently who works in educational outreach for a large industrial company, and she went as far to say that she had never seen a manufacturing training initiative work when all three of these stakeholders, government, the private sector, and educational institutions, weren't working very closely in tandem with one another. And so as the U.S. seeks to mend its skills gap, you can really expect these kinds of partnerships to continue to be vital. That's all I have for you today, but if you enjoyed this video, stay tuned for more to come in the days ahead.